G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me Woodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die once again in the brand new Alpha 17.2, the brand new update that as always came out right as I finished recording some of the last episodes. That's why it always happens. As soon as I close 7 days, they're like, hey, here's a brand new update. I'm like, well, fuck, now I have to wait a whole nother day before I can record that one. But I am here in the brand new update, up on my balcony, looking over my racetrack in, like, the prime seats. This is where all, like, the hot girls and the rich businessmen and stuff sit to watch the races go by. I am back up on my balcony because with the new 17.2 update, they have changed the pathfinding once again. And there's one particular line in there that is all important, and that is that zombies now, when they get close to you, if they then have a long path to get to you, like if they're in a close proximity, but the path they take still goes a long way around, they will just go into beat everything mode. They'll go into destroy all your shit mode, and they will try and break through the wall to get to you that way, which means that things like this, like my day 700 base, will no longer work. I mean, it barely worked in the first instance, but like when I was hanging out in this, like the final room here, watching all the zombies, well, the plan was to watch all the zombies like zigzag their way through this whole maze thing here, that won't work anymore, because as soon as they get to, like, through the first door here, as soon as they get to there, they're gonna be like, well, listen, we could go through this gigantic maze that'll take us 18 years, or we could just beat through the wall. So that is what they think now. That is how they work. But I want to test that and see, like, how often they go into that mode, how, you know, how far the route has to be before they'll give up, all those kind of things, which means I need to build a brand new base, and I may as well just build it right on top of my underground base. So I think the best way to test this is going to have, like, some sort of little, like, safe space, like, just here, like a cube that I'm protected in, and have a whole, like, maze outside, kind of like the day 700 base, but more, or thinner, and also, like, longer. So once they get all the way down the end of one of these, like, tongs, so they'll go like here and put another one like there, and then we'll go all the way around, and then the entryway will be here. So when they come down this first side and they get to here, it's going to be a long way of pathing to get all the way around and come back in the other way. So, like, if it works the way that I think it works, they should stop here and beat their way through. This is a really big change. If this change works the way I think it does, so many of, like, a bunch of my base designs in the past won't work anymore. The snail shell one will still work, but, like, things like the loot bases and stuff like that. Like, if you want to make the Mark II loot base here, when they get to standing on top of you here when you're underneath, I mean, maybe they might consider the pathing all the way around there too long, and they might just stop and beat on the floor. Like, a lot of the things, like the exploits that I've built, may not work anymore. I don't, well, I mean, the pool of death has still worked. That's the main one. That's my favorite one. But, like, yeah, some of them, it's kind of broken a lot of the systems I was using. So we'll build this and just confirm the results that I think I'm going to get. And if it happens that way, then it's a very sad day for me and everyone who builds the bases I build. So I've really just built myself just like a basic paperclip base. I call it a paperclip base because remember the old, like, Microsoft Assistant thing? The little paperclip dude who used to, like, guide you through Microsoft Word back in, like, 2005, I'm not sure my age at all, there am I. It looks a bit like that. It looks a bit like a paperclip. That's what it reminds me of. So it is the paperclip base. So I just built up one of those because it's the most direct way I think I can test what their pathfinding is going to be like. So let's get old mate Arlene, as always, if you wouldn't mind just hanging out there for me. And now, the most wonderful thing ever is I can just leave my body in this pit over here. Don't need to worry about it anymore. I can press a whole bunch of buttons and then I get free cam. It's literally 4 different buttons to get free cam. But that's fine with me. So I can follow Arlene on her journey through the base. If you wouldn't mind, Arlene, please, can I turn you on and shoot a gun in the air? Okay, there we go. Here she comes. Oh, no. Oh, of all the things I was expecting her to do, being a gymnast was not one of them. Okay, apparently to build it 1 block taller. Arlene, you're really pissing me off, dude. You can't do that shit. I was here, I built this lovely track for you, and you give me the fucking finger and fuck off somewhere else. God damn it, Arlene. So I've built the whole paperclip base 1 block taller, so hopefully Arlene won't try and get a gymnast on and jump up on the walls anymore. So I'm going to spawn her out here. I should probably say as well, I mean, I was saying before, like, it's 4 different keystrokes to get free cam. I do try and put this, I try and remember to put, like, the different tricks and stuff I use in the description. So, like, the blue block clearing and how to get the dev tools and stuff, that's usually in the description nowadays if I remember to do it. But to do this one, to get the free cam going, you gotta press, it's so complicated, you gotta press F5 to get third person going, F7 to remove the HUD, P, which separates the camera from the character. However, then you still control the character. And then the open square bracket, which is the button just next to P for those playing at home, that makes you able to control the free cam. So there's a whole process that goes into it. But whatever, once you have the free cam, you can still control everything as normal, just your character is somewhere else. So Arlene, if you please, would you please come and test out my base without jumping on top of it this time? So ready, set, go. You can hear my gunshot in the distance because the sound is based on where my character is, not where I'm looking from. There we go. Yep, come on. All right, into the tunnel she goes. Where does she end up? Nobody knows. She's coming down, coming down. What's going to happen at the end here? Oh, she's taken the loop. She's gone around. Okay. Interesting. I was expecting Arlene to have a bit more trouble with that. That means I have to make it longer. Ah, sorry, Arlene. Sorry to do it to you. Go all that way just to die at the end. It means I have to make it a longer route on the outside for her to make in. Maybe instead of like building it out, I'll just put another like rung on it. Another little like tang, whatever, on my fork. Okay, it doesn't really look like a paperclip anymore, which is a little bit upsetting, but whatever, we're moving on with our lives. I've put my body just in the corner here, as close as I can to the exit of the first row, to try and entice Arlene as much as I possibly can. You know, like, if she's gonna come all the way down here, she can smell me basically through the wall, where she's got like a whole other kilometer to run. So hopefully that'll be enough to entice her to beat on the wall and we get some sort of reaction out of her. Arlene, if you wouldn't mind just coming over here, please. Oh, almost shot you by accident, because every time I press other buttons, it locks the camera again. Okay, you gonna come for me? Excuse me, Arlene, are you in there? I can't tell if I have AI to. There we go. She's wandering. She just can't hear me. How can you not hear me? I'm shooting a gun. Look how loud I'm being. Come over here and try and eat me. Oh, you are useless. After all this time, Arlene, you finally let me down. I spawned up just a little bit closer. There's that. Is that better? There we go. She's off. She's off and running. What's going to happen at the first bend? Is she going to take the bait or turn and go? She's turned and go. Right, okay, I wasn't expecting it to work like it's not. I would have thought that would definitely be a long enough path for her to be like, yeah, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna eat you through a wall instead. Huh, interesting. I don't know then. I mean, I can keep building these things out eventually, but if it didn't do it now, like, when would it do it? Remember that time this base used to look like a paperclip? I do. That was a long time ago now. Oh, I forgot to make an entry over here. Just go bom, bom, bom. There we go. Okay, so I've expanded this to about as much of a fuck around as I can possibly think of. Just like a smitten high schooler who's like, hey, this is what I am, but I like this girl, so I'm going to change what I am completely to try and get her to like me. I have changed this base completely to try and get Arlene to like me. But I don't think Arlene has anything to do with me, and she's only going to notice the change because she's too busy going after that other base over there, and it's all no, it's all coming back to me. No, we're going too far into my high school life. Moving on. The base has changed, which means there's a lot more for Arlene to run through. A lot more zigzags, a lot more everything. But most importantly, I think the key here is that every time she goes through the loop, she's getting mighty, mighty close to me. So every time she gets to the end of one of the loop arounds, she has to like sniff me, see me, and then take off in the other direction, including here. I mean, it's like, if she gets over here and hasn't even like made an instance of trying to get to me yet, then I reckon it's probably over. But I've tried to make it as close to me as possible without actually letting her touch me until the very end. So I'll put Arlene in there, put me in the little socket over here, get my free cam going. Oh, is Arlene already off? She's already off. Already off and running. Didn't even wait for the gunshot. You know what? There you go. There's your starting gun. But she's already gone around. All right, here we go. Is she going to stop at the corner and come get me? No. Okay. Well, I reckon. I mean, I'll go and test out some of the old bases, but I don't think that this is this change in their AI is going to make any difference whatsoever. And look at the path she has to run to. She could have gone through one block and reached me. Instead, she's going to run the full marathon all the way around just for a chance to get into my little safety cube. I thought I was desperate for Arlene by changing everything for her. Apparently, she's just as desperate. She's fucking going the long way around for no reason. She could have the easy route. She's taking the hard one. I thought I understood this change, but apparently I don't. I feel a little bad. After all that running, just boom, shoot her down. She went through all that effort just to get to me, and I shot her down at the last moment. Oh, sorry, Arlene. Well, I mean, that base is going to stay there forever now. It's like a testament to my misunderstanding. I don't know. I'm sure someone in the comments will be like, Josh, you idiot. Oh, clearly it doesn't mean that. It means something else. Like, you have to go retest everything again. And if that is the case, I'll gladly come back and test whatever the current theory on this change is. But if that isn't a long enough path for them to give up and beat on shit instead, then I don't know what is. I've got two more things to test. One is going to be a horde of zombies trying to get to me inside here just to see what happens. And then I'll test some of the old bases to make sure they still work. Because because I'm starting to feel confident that my original designs are still applicable. I've called in a Blood Moon Horde to see how they will handle it. Maybe there's a chance some zombies will turn into beat up everything mode instead of, oh, there's some cops out there. I don't want to deal with the cops. They can go away, but no, oh, here we go. Oh, they gave up pretty early. Maybe that's what's going on. Right, okay, there we go. We're getting some results. Damn it, I wish I had like done that with the original Paperclip Base to see what would have happened there. So yeah, so some of them just decide that they're going to do the whole long way around, and other ones decide that, yeah, nah, I'm going to take the short option. So it's like every second zombie is trying to beat through the wall over here. Oh, there's someone's bitten on something. But you're just being an idiot. Have I lost zombies somewhere? Are there some that I've missed? No, here we go. They're coming around the other side now. I'll try and clean up so they don't actually get all the way back to me. That's interesting though. Yeah, see, some of them just decide not to. Okay, I wish there was a way to figure out which zombies would and which ones won't. Okay, that's fine. We have a result now. We know that in a horde, some zombies will tell you to get fucked and they're going to come through the wall to get you. So maybe we could just go back into the daytime to make some modifications, because maybe I need to like fix this up a little bit and like make it shorter and see how long it needs to be before the zombies give up. So I've brought in another horde, and the only thing I've done to really change it is I've just kind of blocked off this like second half of the world over here. Whoa, where are you guys going? What are you doing over there? Okay, I'm gonna move my body back over here a little bit. Is there a reason you're beating on the wall? Oh, okay. My camera went upside down and it really confused me for a second. You guys need to stop and go through the maze properly. I'm testing something else. I mean, well, I guess that's kind of some sort of proof. Oh, no, wait, hang on. Hang on, I made a mistake. That's why. I accidentally blocked off their route. Okay, never mind. I did a dump. Can you guys come through the right way this time? Yes? Okay, we're good. Let's clear up this guy and probably you. Alright, now, what's going to happen now? Are you guys going to come through the right way? Or are you going to beat on shit on the outside? No, there's not even a way through over there. You have to beat through another wall if you do it that way. Oh, there's a dog coming though. Is there anyone I've missed? No, no one's doing anything of note. Gonna kill that dog. So it really is just like, they've just kind of given up immediately, whereas before they were like beating on this corner, now they're just like, nah, fuck this one wall in particular, even though it gives me no merit to beat it down. So here's an interesting thing as well. In new 17.2, like, you can exhaust Blood Moon Nights. Like, I used to, like, for testing stuff, I used to just, like, go back into the start of a Blood Moon and let the Horde come, and the moon will always be red. You can see now the moon is white, and there's, I mean, it's past 10 o'clock at night on day 21. There should be a Blood Moon Horde, but there's no red atmosphere, there's no red moon, there's no Horde, there's no nothing. But if I go to, like, set time day 28, 10 o'clock, say, then, I mean, you can see at the top there, now the day 28 is now in red. So I think that's something they've added now. Like, it gives you a warning to say, hey, this is a Blood Moon Night coming up, which I kind of don't like. I like having to rely on your math, and then if you forgot and couldn't count, then you got surprised by a Horde, and you had to, like, suddenly you get the thunder at, like, 8 o'clock at night, and you're like, holy fuck, it's a Horde night. I completely forgot. So, not a big fan of now being able to, like, run out of Horde nights, essentially. Like, I've already used 3 of them now. Eventually, to do testing, I have to, like, oh, I need to spawn in, you know, Horde night 1421 or some shit. If that's even a multiple of 7, I hope it is. But, like, that's kind of annoying, but kind of not a decision I want to make, but I can see why they did it. So I've gone back to, like, the original Paperclip. All the walls are still around, but I've gone back to the original method of down here, up there, and then so like, only kind of 2 kind of bends to see what happens. Also, he's gone into the street, but he's going the wrong way back up the thing. He's going to cause a roadblock. Let's get rid of that. I can't. Here we go. Got rid of that guy. So sometimes they get to here, and sometimes they turn the corner, and sometimes they don't. So even just with, like, the basics, it's like two corners. Look, that guy's decided, nah, fuck you too. He's going the wrong way. Interesting. So it really is, like, if they have to run away from the closest option to you, then they will change. So that does change a lot of things. Right, okay, so for random kind of zombies here and there, you really don't have much to worry about at all. But, like, when it comes to, like, a Horde, you're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. If as soon as they detect that they have to go a longer way than what they already are, nah, game over. See, that's kind of interesting. I mean, they are very, very close there, but I like that they've brought this into the game, because it kind of removes half of the cheese moves you can do. I've seen a lot of bases, in fact, I've almost kind of made bases in something. This is like the melee base, the stapler base over there is one of them, where, like, you're relying on them getting close to you, but following their path. Whereas if they realize that they're, oh shit, that they're close to you, if I could shoot this freaking zombie, that'd be great. I got him right at the last moment. yeah, but they realize that they're close to you, then they won't take the longer path. That's better. That suits the smart zombie AI that they're trying to bring in here. I still think that this AI one day is going to be removed from zombies, and this will be like the bandit AI, and the zombies go back to being the dumb AI. At least I hope that's what's going to happen. That makes the most sense to me, because like this is pretty hard. Like, how would the zombies know that they're so close to you? I mean, unless they brought the old smell mechanic, that kind of makes sense. But like, how would they know that like, oh, I've got like another 50 meters to run. That's too far, so I'll beat down the wall instead. So there is a change to the AI. I'll leave it up to you guys to decide whether you think it's good or not. Anyway, guys, on that note, that is the results that I thought I was going to get with Arlene, but single zombies don't care. It's only really the Horde. So whatever Horde bases you have built, including if you've built some of mine, I mean, some of my bases use that idea. Like, the Blender doesn't. The Blender will be fine. As I said before, the Pool of Death base will be fine. But something like the Loot base or the Stapler base, you might have a little bit of trouble with. So you might have to jump in your own world and do some testing and figure out what's going to work. That Loot base definitely won't work. The new AI will have a field day with that one, tearing down the walls. So yeah, some of these things, like the zigzaggy kind of cheesing bases, won't work anymore. But like the rest of them, the drop bases, all that kind of stuff, will. So take that into account when you're building your next Horde base. But I'll have to come back and test some more cool stuff in 7 Days to Die in another episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to the patrons on Patreon who made this episode possible. If you like to, make sure the like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter, but don't talk to you there first. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.